Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Acara kami menyediakan banyak bahasa. Silakan lihat suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Maroon clownfish-people generally have 3 vertical stripes, also known as body bars, with black edges. They can be white, gray, or yellow, depending on geographic location, gender, and age. If a female with gray bars is annoyed or alarmed by something, she may suddenly change them to white. But around Sumatra, everyone is born with white stripes that develop a golden hue by the time they are 12 months old. The Indo-Pacific Maroon clownfish-people. Please continue watching to get the inside story on their extraordinary lifestyle beneath the waves.
Vegan, to return to the kingdom of God.
Selamat datang means welcome in Indonesian. Like-hearted viewers, my name is Dua and this is Satu. We are vegan nobles from the Maroon Clownfish Kingdom and are pleased to be invited as your hosts today. You can find our species from western Indonesia to northeastern Australia, but our particular habitat is in the waters north of Sumatra. The respectful residents of that idyllic isle pray for your days on earth to flow smoothly according to Allah's plan. Welcome to our show titled The Indo-Pacific Maroon Clownfish-People.
Thank you for introducing us, Dua. Sumatra certainly promises exceptional beauty and adventure. The Barisan Mountains that stretch along the western side lead to a network of rivers, swamps, and mangrove forests in the northeast. The island is intersected midway by the equator, giving rise to a climate that is hot and humid. It is still home to tiger, elephant, and orangutan people, although deforestation is a serious threat to the survival of those species. Offshore, we enjoy fantastic cobalt blue seas with our maritime friends.
We have several names for different reasons. Zoologists call us Premnas biaculeatus. Why? Because they have a formal system of naming species using words rooted in Latin grammar. The first term is our taxonomical genus, and the second is our specific epithet. It describes something unique about us. Aculeatus means prickly, and bi means two. So, biaculeatus refers to the needle-like structures on either side of our face that leads to one of our common names, spine-cheeked anemone fish people. The anemone part is a long story, so we'll get to that later. Then, our most familiar tag is Maroon Clownfish people. This one is easier to understand, but it is only true of some females. Many have bodies closer to dark brown, whereas males and juveniles are bright red-orange. We all have bold markings reminiscent of how some human clowns paint their faces.
You sound very scholarly today, Dua. You must have done a lot of studying in your spare time.
Service to Allah brings peace to my mind and sweetness to my heart.
It is so. Do you have anything to add about our description and anatomy?
Yes, maroon clownfish people generally have 3 vertical stripes, also known as body bars, with black edges. They can be white, gray, or yellow, depending on geographic location, gender, and age. If a female with gray bars is annoyed or alarmed by something, she may suddenly change them to white. But around Sumatra, everyone is born with white stripes that develop a golden hue by the time they are 12 months old. Satu, since you are the leading member of our little community, would you care to explain how the hierarchy works?
Certainly, my Dua. Researchers have labeled it size-based dominance. There is one female, she is larger than the males, and she is the boss. Clownfish people like me grow up to 17 centimeters long, while most males in the group are limited to around 7 centimeters. You are bigger than them, that is why you are my number 2.
Love you, Satu.
The feeling is mutual, but there is more to the story, precious, and it is pretty magical.
I was secretly hoping you would talk about that because I don't completely understand it.
Okay, darling. You know that I am older than you. Someday, my stripes will begin to fade and I will depart this life.
According to Allah's will.
Yes, and at that time, you must take my place. A few weeks after my passing, you will grow bigger and darker and become female, while the highest ranking male in the community will develop in size to become your number 2.
But how is it possible for me to change like that?
All clownfish people are born as males, Dua, with dormant female cells. Our femininity does not manifest until needed, like a flower bud waiting to blossom. Scientists say we are protandrous hermaphrodites.
Protandrous hermaphrodites?
Yes, Dua. In other words, we are unique beings made by the Creator with an astonishing ability to switch our gender from male to female as we mature. Anyway, I think it is time for us to pray. I am sure our viewers will forgive us if we pause the presentation and return shortly.
Vegan side effect: don't just love your neighbor, love all on earth.
In the second half of the show, we'll have more information about our fascinating underwater ways. So please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our program, the Indo-Pacific Maroon Clownfish-People on Supreme Master Television.
Dua, when are you going to explain why some people call us anemone fish people?
I'll delay no further. Let's start with the word anemone. It's a terrestrial plant belonging to the buttercup family with vibrant blossoms. It has absolutely nothing to do with us. However, sea anemones are marine animal people who got their name because they can be extremely colorful like the flowers. They are in the same phylum as coral and jellyfish people. We, clownfish characters, have an exclusive relationship with certain people from the sea anemone kingdom. The fancy term for it is symbiotic mutualism, which means we help each other a lot. The name anemone fish people came from the fact that we are always with them. It's just that the adjective sea got dropped.
There are over 1,000 different kinds of sea anemone people. No more than 10 are suitable to have clownfish people live with them. And of those, maroon clownfish royalty are attracted to only one type. It lives inside coral reefs and tranquil lagoons from the Malay archipelago to the western Coral Sea. I use the common name for the species, bubble-tip anemone people, because their binomial name is too hard for me to pronounce. They attach their cylindrical body to rocks no deeper than 16 meters because they need sunlight and prefer warmer water. Their tentacles end in a whitish bulb topped by a cap with a pink button.
A procreative clownfish couple will select a single anemone person to be their host. But we don't rely on appearance to make our choice. We respond to olfactory stimuli.
Oh my!
Was that too technical? Okay, it means we can smell them. But this is a really important ability. Because otherwise, if we approach the wrong species, we could be in big trouble.
You better explain yourself to the viewers, Dua.
Right, as pretty as sea anemone people may be to look at, their tentacles contain venom. So we usually keep our distance, but for the bubble tips, we have a special adaptation. We wiggle among the fillers and brush against them ever so slightly. Sometimes it hurts, but it allows us to sample their mucus. Once we have that, we can make our own and spread it over our scales. It works like a disguise, and our chosen host no longer sees us as outsiders.
We have a safe haven from then on. The poisonous tentacles stop troublemakers from hurting us. In return, we oxygenate our sea anemone landlord through the continual movement of our fins during the day. We also keep it clean by removing parasites and debris.
It becomes like a household, especially if the host is big enough to accommodate a few adolescents. Before long, it's time for the foremost male to prepare a nest for the coming generation. Satu, would you kindly talk about what goes on during the busiest times of our lives?
Of course, but first of all, I would like to tell you that Maroon clownfish people are monogamous. Do you know what that means, Dua?
It means we are faithful to each other.
Yes, mated pairs can stay together for a long while. When it is time for the female to spawn, the male finds a safe and solid place for her to deposit her eggs, and then he fertilizes them. For the next week or so, he protects, cleans, and aerates the nest until the little ones hatch. Humans who study us say that clownfish people have a life expectancy of 10 years in the wild.
I know that we are not an endangered species, Satu. All the same, we are affected by pollution and other changes to the environment. Warmer temperatures put our beloved coral reefs and sea anemone people at risk of bleaching. When they are not healthy, fewer of our eggs survive. It is heartbreaking to see what is happening to our habitat. What can we do to preserve ourselves?
We cannot achieve anything by ourselves, Dua. We are quite helpless here.
Could we ask our human friends to help? I know some of them are very loving and kind. If they rally enough support for us, I mean for the world's oceans, maybe the damage could be undone.
We can pray and meditate for a vegan world. That may be our best course of action. Whatever Allah proposes will come to pass.
It is so. I remember hearing news that animal people livestock factory operations are the largest agriculture cause of water pollution due to the bloody discharges from killing our friends, manure waste produced, plus excessive amounts of treatment, chemicals, and antibiotics used, and good-hearted vegans don't contribute to any of that.
Indeed, vegans are true environmentalists and guardians of all animal people, including marine persons like us. Let's hope all humans would swiftly turn to the compassionate, plant-based way of life and help us stop ocean pollution once and for all.
Veganism teaches us that with all the choices we have, the most mindful is one of non-violence toward all. Professor Sherry F. Kolb, vegan.
Enthusiastic viewers, it was an honor to have you join us for our show. Thank you. Coming up next is Make Peace with Animal People. Turn vegan, make peace with humanity, no more war. Part 2 of 6 on Between Master and Disciples, right after noteworthy news. May your every breath be a reminder of your connection with the divine.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/AW.